It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege of interviewing the St. Thomas Aquinas College assistant women's basketball coach, Coach Anastasia Williams. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you want to get started in coaching in college women's basketball?
So I want to say it was probably back in high school that realized that I really love more than just playing it. I was helping out like a local AAU travel team that I knew, and they were young girls, like fourth, fifth grade girls. So when I realized I actually have the talent for teaching as well, I was like, oh, maybe I want to try this out after I finished playing basketball. So it was probably in high school that the idea of coaching basketball came about.
What was that experience like going to Fairland Dickinson?
Do you, I don't know, do you want me to help you pronounce it too?
What was that experience like playing collegiate basketball?
Um, it was definitely different. Division One is much, much, much more intense than a lot of people think. Um, it helped me a lot with time management for sure. It was constant either workouts for basketball or workouts for um, strength training, and then trying to manage that with homework and studying. It was definitely a lot, but it was a very good experience for me. I really enjoyed my 4 years there.
For you, what was that experience like putting on that uniform and representing that college?
It was awesome. Like I always wanted to play Division One basketball. I always wanted to um, play for like I would say a mid-major school because it's a little less taxing than I know some high-level Division One schools. And it's something I worked for ever since I was in elementary school. Like it was awesome. I've put in all the effort in training and hours in the gym and missing like family events or birthday parties for that exact moment. So it was great.
For you, what was that experience like playing professional basketball and going to Long Island?
Professional was different also. It was super fun. I loved it. But with the difference of like the culture or time difference, depending on where I was, and just the level of play out there was a big adjustment I had to make in the beginning. But it was great being able to play at that level that I always said I wanted to play at too. That's another thing I wanted to do since I was probably in like middle school, elementary school, always wanted to play professional basketball. So it was great. It was an adjustment that I had to make, but I loved it.
For you, what was that transition like going from playing professional basketball to getting into college coaching?
It was not as hard as I thought it was going to be because there was a few teams where I ended up coaching their youth program. So I had done a couple of coaching stints in different countries already. So I was used to being able to work with kids from 18, 19-year olds all the way down to fourth and fifth graders. So the transition wasn't as nerve-wracking or as scary as I expected it to be, but overseas definitely helped me with the transition very much.
What was that experience like for you becoming an assistant coach and going to Farmingdale State College?
That was actually my very first coaching job. Um, it really was sprung upon me one day. I wasn't planning on getting into coaching at all because I was still playing basketball and I wanted to play as much as I could and then coach after my career. But it was great. It was my very first time coaching any type of high level basketball, so it was definitely nerve wracking, very, very scary experience, not gonna lie. But The girls were great to me over there. The coach welcomed me in and helped me out with anything that I asked for and any questions that I had. He definitely helped me with the entry, I guess, to college coaching.
Coming to St. Thomas Acquiring, what was that experience like being their assistant coach?
It's great. It was another great experience. I haven't had very bad experience, to be honest, with coaching college basketball. But our head coach, Coach William Cleary, he's great. He first said in the interview process with me that I had to just be myself, and he didn't want me to be anything other than that. And that was huge for me because I was just able to coach them how I wanted to coach them, and they were able to take in anything I said, whether it was positive, constructive criticism, anything like that. So it's been a up and down season for sure, a couple of rough patches, but the overall experience, meeting new people and getting into the Division II basketball realm was great.
For you, what was that feeling like stepping onto the court for the first time as the assistant coach?
Very different. It was, I'm not gonna lie, it was very hard at first because I had just finished playing basketball and announced retiring from professional playing about 4 weeks before I got the job. So it was very fresh coming off of being the player on the court to now being the coach on the court.
What does a typical game day look like for you?
Typical game day, it's a very long day. People usually just see the time when the game starts and the tip off, but it's a long day. If we have like let's say a 5 p.m. game, my day starts around, I would say 9 a.m. And if we have a 1 p.m. game, my day starts around 6 a.m. with um, doing our scouting report with the coaches, going through walkthrough of plays with the girls, shoot arounds with the girls, making sure everyone is hydrated, they have food, they're getting their ankles taped, they're getting treatment. So it's a very long process throughout the day on game day.
What have been some of the things that you've been able to accomplish so far?
For coaching, I would say finally being able to find my voice as a coach rather than seeing stuff as just a player standpoint. I'm able to see the game in a different light where I'm able to see what defense we should be in or what matchup should be out there or what plays to run. I'm definitely being able to see that and finding my voice and being able to articulate it to the girls.
Can you talk about a course of culture that you've helped to build for the women's basketball program?
Question. I would say the culture I've created there would be, I would say being able to take constructive criticism. A lot of girls or players, basketball players, soccer, baseball, these kids nowadays, it's very hard for them to be able to take constructive criticism because they're very hard on themselves when it comes to sports and success, whether it's making a shot or getting the play right or anything like that. So I feel like I was able this season to make sure the girls understood that what they were doing wasn't wrong, but there's always ways to be able to improve what they're doing as a player.
Who are some of the teams in your conference that you play against?
Oh, so we actually just had a game against DUville. They're in Rochester, New York. We play Damon University in Buffalo, New York. They're like the number one team in our conference right now, and they're ranked regionally. They're very good, very well coached team. Um, we play Malloy University right here on Long Island, where I'm from. Um, who else? Oh, we play Mercy. A lot of New York teams we play. Mercy University. We play Queens College. So everything's pretty close to us in driving distance.
What is that home game atmosphere like when teams like Queen comes to home versus going to Des Moines?
Oh, it's great. It's great. It even is I would say even better in in my favor, I would say, because I have so much family and friends around there too who are able to come out and support us as we play. So being being close to home and having home games right where I'm from is a great experience.
What does that recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to play collegiate basketball?
Process. It definitely is a process. We don't just look at if you're a great player, if you score all these points. We look at your academics because academics is what is going to get that player through the door in the first place. If you don't have the grades, you're not going to be able to come to the school or play for our team. So we look at academics, we look at how you treat your teammates, we look at how you treat your coaches, how you treat your parents. It's a lot of observation on our part as coaches to see how that player interacts with everybody in on their team or family members as well.
As a college basketball coach, what is it like seeing those freshmen put on that uniform for the first time representing the college?
It's great because it's something that they always wanted. All these freshmen come in wanting to learn and bright-eyed, ready to hit the ground running. Sometimes it's a process with them as well because they're coming from being the go-to player senior in high school to now going back down on the totem pole as a freshman again, having to listen to seniors and upperclassmen. So it's a long process for them as well. Some get it quicker than others, but for the freshmen we have on our team specifically, they've been a great class. We have four really good freshmen with a bright future at our school.
What is that like seeing those seniors putting on that uniform for the last time?
It's a bittersweet moment because I've been with them for only 1 year, but there's my head coach has been with them for even 5 years. So to see that growth and the process go from them coming in as a freshman to a senior, even grad student, it's a bittersweet moment because they've done so much for the program and they're almost like your second coaches on the floor. They're your real leaders of the team who know the way we run things or want to run things. So it's a bittersweet moment, but you know that they're going to go off and do great with whatever path they want to take, whether it's playing overseas basketball or whether it's going to grad school, becoming a doctor, lawyer, engineer. So it's a great moment knowing that.
As a coach, what is it like seeing them going on and playing professional basketball, whether it's overseas or in the WNBA?
It's huge, especially for a person as myself who's played overseas for 7 years. We have a girl on the team who's looking to play overseas afterwards as well. Her name is Sarita Faraj. She's definitely the number one player in the conference. She averages a double-double each game. She's a walking professional, really, at this point. How she carries herself on the court, off the court with her teammates, with her coaches. It's a very exciting process I'm looking forward to seeing with her.
What are some of your future plans for the program moving forward?
Our future plans, I would say, is to just keep growing as a team, keep getting better. Having definitely a better season than we did this season. It was a lot of new players. We had a couple grad students or seniors that transferred in as well. So it was a very big rebuilding process for us this season. So next season and the following season, we definitely hope to have a little more success in the wins column than we had this season, and just for our underclassmen to get more confident and be able to be those leaders on the court for us.
What advice would you give those incoming freshmen entering their first year of college women's basketball?
Advice I would give to incoming freshmen would be just to be a sponge, take it all in, listen, because you think you know everything, but you don't. You got a whole lot of years to get to know the game of basketball and get to see the college level and the speed and the intensity of the game. So any freshman out there, I would say just to listen. If you have questions, always ask. Never be afraid to ask a question, but be a sponge and just listen, take it all in.
What advice would you give those seniors that have aspirations of playing in the WNBA or overseas?
I would say if that's your goal, stick to it. Don't let anybody defer you from that goal. whether they're a coach or even a parent or friend who might have their opinions about what your decision may be. If that's your goal, you do whatever you can to make it happen, whether it's working out with trainers, going to to get film done or getting your film put in a video, sending it to agencies, whatever you have to do, keep going and grinding to get what you want to get done. Because if that's your goal, you're going to make it happen.
What advice would you give those professional athletes like yourself transitioning into getting into coaching?
I would say give yourself some grace. It's a process of going from playing all these years since you were in first, second grade to now you're the one taking the back seat. You're that coach that the kids look up to. You're the one that they look forward to seeing every day or look up to with questions and advice and guidance. So it's a huge transition for me. It's still a transition for me all these months later, but it's a great feeling to know that all the coaches that help me out, I take little pieces from them and advice that they gave me, and I try to implement it to the girls here at St. Thomas.
What advice would you give those assistant coaches that have aspirations of becoming assistant coaches?
I would say do it. Just go out there, rip the band-aid off, go and do it. I know a lot of people are hesitant to do a lot of things because of they don't want to fail. What will people think? What happens if this, that, whatever? Just try it. Put yourself out there because it's if it's something that you really want to do, you're going to get it done. You're going to make sure you do it right. You're going to make sure you have the people behind you that are going to support you with it. Just jump in the water.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at social media along with the program at?
So on social media, we have a Instagram account, stack STAC_WBB, St. Thomas Aquinas Women Basketball, which I run the page as well. So all the posts and videos on there are posts and videos from myself. And we have our website for our women's basketball team, stackathletics.com, and you can see all our games, our record, our roster, schedule, all that. And for myself, my Instagram is awilliams_33, Anastasia Williams.
Here again, Anastasia Williams for your interview and best luck in your future at St. Thomas Aquinas as the assistant women's basketball coach.
Thank you so much, Brandon, for having me. It was great.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach, for your interview and best luck in your future.
Of course. Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.